Alright peeps, welcome back to Cavey, episode 15. We've got a farmer diving doing. Oh no, that's why I didn't unpause. Speaking of pause, look at that pause job right there. But I knew the beaver would bloody gun off and find themselves. I figured they were coming doing the ladder, they were just offset a block. Looked like they were diving doing off the bad waterfall. But this bad waterfall is not going to be that for very much longer. Very shortly, this bad waterfall will run blue once again. And now it's just a regular old waterfall, isn't it? Let's get these up to 8.5. Maybe cause some mild flooding. Maybe. But it guns away and it's alright, don't worry about it. Oh, and the beaver's got the pines in our here. This is Oak Corner, but we don't plant oaks where the contamination hits. We plant pines. So I guess we're fingers crossed that this is going to be a bloody drought up ahead, aren't we? And I can't believe they haven't got the brambles in. That should be top priority, that man forester. But at the end of the last episode, we finally got this big hour hang in, which let the beavers go and doing these ladders and chop these oaks that have been sitting there for bloody ages. We do have 7.2k science, so we definitely need all of these bonus science huts around anymore. Let's get some of our global lad back. So why don't we have ourselves a real casual speedy up bit while we get everything replanted. And that's everything replanted there. And we're about to get another oak replanted! Little stubby oak there. Grows to be a big thick boy. 8 bloody logs. But yeah, now just in case you forgot, like I did, unpause this bloody forest and get the pines back in here. We need a lot of wood. A hell of a lot of wood. And treated planks as well, which is why we rushed the next 2 stages of our little piles here. So we can go to metal, spend these wonderful 4,000 science points that our beavers busily saved up in the last cycle. And say, yeah, now beavers, build that with a bit of quickness, please. And I'm only going to want 1 worker in here. And we may as well do efficient scrap mining, you know what I mean? It's only a bonus TNT. But yeah, now beavers, we need this in with a bloody quickness. But do we need it in before the... Yes, we do. I was saying, do we need it in before this big bad water tank here? But we do, because if we have a little zoom inside, you can see... impermeable floors all over the shop. We need those in. Ooh, second little speedy up bit of planting trees. And this takes us all the way to our bad tide warning. So that means... let's just pause this forester here. There is a need to have ED in anything, pal. In 3 days, all of these are going to be contaminated indeed. Speaking of deed, I wanted to make sure we had the cut trees off for this little 4x4 pine square here. Because we're going to need a lot of bloody pine resin. Otherwise, old mate here's going to run out. Are you run out? Nay way! There was loads of pine resin. Oh, well, you can get paused, and I believe that stops us from spinning here. No, it doesn't. Why? Oh, yeah, bloody corns. Why, aye, crack along. Finish up the corn rations there, mate. And we finally got the cassava warehouse in. We can store cassavas. Just means I have to be a bit less micromanaging like I am now. About whenever I get up to 60 cassava storage and it's nigh on full. We'll have 1,200 cassava storage now. And you know what, beavers? I quite like that little priority you've got going on there. High priority all of this, and then if anything comes up, it'll be a maximum priority jobby. Ooh, and during that speedy up bit when we're planting the pines, the kohlrabies came in. We even have a little bit of kohlrabi storage look up here. Nah, if we zoom in, yeah, look, we've got loads of bloody kohlrabi storage. We've only got half a bloody warehouse. Having all the farmers isn't going to help the speedy up bit I want to do. And these all need to be ripping plants up, beavers, all the way to the bad tide. Otherwise, this kohlrabi speed and picky up bit all the way to the bad tide wouldn't really be very good now, would it? But thankfully, we're mostly ripping things out the ground, so the bad tide won't have a chance to contaminate it. And here we are, the waterfall is officially running red. We're gonna be contaminating all these kohlrabis soon, beavers, if you didn't bloody hurry up and pick them up, not plant. Pick them up! Nah, these two now, what's up? We've got a little bit of groundwater knocking about now to worry about. Just like this 19-day bad tides now to worry about. Oi, you're supposed to be a pine, pal. So all of these, what the bloody hell's happened? Why is all of these been planted as oaks? You know what, I was thinking of what we could do under here. I reckon coffee bushes! Look at all of these poor pines and ever blossoms. Drying up and dying due to contamination. At least we've got our green patch of oaks doing here, doing their bit. And of course, we've got Oak Corner over here. Absolutely smashing it. And I was just about to say, don't worry peeps. This contamination does spread and get a lot worse. We currently have diluted bad water. Now, we've got full-on bad water in the river. Which has me thinking, I'd rather just have some 3-day kohlrabis on the crack here. There's no point whatsoever planting cassavas there when they're just going to get done in by a bad tide. And look at our little water dump there, doing its bit. This should be up to 1. Yeah, happy days, it's up to 1. to keep all of these trees nice and green. And I suppose that's probably doing their bit to can doing and keep this nice and green as well. Or maybe it's our little canal here. And I think it's time to start automatically pausing all of these water pump bars whenever we have a drought. You know what, peeps? This is long overdue. We're going to connect this pipe into this tank. This is what I've got so far. I just need to bridge this little bit of a gap here, you know. Minor inconvenience and all that. Now, I have been poking around. Unfortunately, there's nothing that can really help us in these extra metal overhangs. Even these middle overhangs, you're either too bloody long or you're too bloody short. But in metal platforms, I do spy these little ones here. 5x5 and 5x3. The 5x3 looks like it could potentially do the job. Let's get some platforms out as markers. So if we have a look at our 5x3 here, is it wide enough to accommodate everything? I do believe it is. That should do the trick very nicely. Well, in that case, it's going to be wanting on here. So let's destroy that bit of plant and ground there so we can see it easy enough. Delete these platform markers, and as well, we're going to have to go on one shorter on these overhangs. And there we have it. 1,500 science points. Well spent. And if that definitely is all lined up, oh my, how perfect is that? I'm not the biggest fan of these. Oh, I did see metal pillar with brace. That could look a bit better, couldn't it? It's 5 metal blocks, but I think it's going to be better than the platforms. 410 science points in the name of beauty? Why aye? Well, I didn't quite think of that now, did I? Unless this is one of those platforms where I can go one in. It is not one of those platforms that can go one in. I was just about to say it looks like we're going to have to get a platform on the top, but come on. That looks horrendous. I do believe I saw a metal platform, but how tall is it? Oh, it is only one tall, right. 420 science points. Get that bought now. This is an expensive little corner, this, like. But it'll be worth it once it's all in. And look, we're only taking one bit of grape going ground there. That's not bad at all. Oh, no. Why didn't someone tell us about these? They're bloody hanging on out. Right, we need to sort that out. Delete these, get your 27 logs back, beavers. Where's the rubble? Oh, there it is. The rubble's there. Thankfully. Well, with that out the way, why don't we use some of our brand new little braces here? Gone up to this level here. Then whip out a real casual hour hang, a little something like that. Make sure it can't all the way at the end there. It does. But it doesn't have to, because it doesn't have to be connected to the levee this time. Give me that 3x1. That'll do. And on here, I was going to put levees. However, what if we use this metal pillar with brace and pop that along there? How does that look? I reckon that looks canny, that like. That looks a lot more structural and a bit of levee action. Oh, and would you have to go all the way along? Now, our here, I am going to pop just a regular out platform. We need to keep the weight doing on this hour hang here. Especially our that side of it. That's where all the leverage is. And we didn't want this crumbling tip and our knocking down with bloody pines now, do we? Let us real casually fill this gap with levees here. And then if this works, I love it. Because there's literally a big hole there. Impermeable floor. Well, with that, I'll reinstate it. Why don't we do this little corner piece here? Now, of course, we're going to be doing the bog standard pipe action. However, we need to get up to this big water bit here, didn't we? This isn't just a bad water chute. And after far too long trying to design a pipe that connects into there nice and tidily, I realised I've just connected this pipe to this pipe, and this sluice is right on the edge of the wall there, which means any good water that comes in here is going to go sideways up this pipe and into here anyway. So I don't actually need to do anything other than cover this bad lad up. So let's cover this bad lad up, shall we? And then for the top of the pipe here, we use a little overhang with impermeable roof. And there we're gone. That's that little bit in and all. And that is bloody tidy. I like that. I like that a lot. And let me just make sure we've got this open. We do. I want to just real casual like, just real casually delete these levees here all the way down to the impermeable floor there. Because that was just a temporary levee to block off the little overhang hour flow there to test our flooding of the caves. Which works. But now it's time to go in here, replace those levees with platforms and impermeable roofs. And that's a tidy little pipe way up. Oh no, loads and loads of levees. And now we have a tidy little pipe there. Once this is built, oh, this is going to be like water's just salted. Absolutely salted. You know, beavers, this is also part of your high priority jobby. Oh, look at this. We've got a nigh on full corn rations warehouse. We'll pause ye, and I do believe that means ye are stopped. And we're gonna be using wood just for building. You know what? Why don't we have ourselves a little speedy upbit for the next 9.9 days? We'll quickly blast through this bad tide and get straight back into action when this temperate season comes along. You know, before the bad tide comes along completely, I'm noticing we've got bloody healthy little pines here. And I guess that's why they were oaks in the first place. Now let's do a speedy upbit of the tide changing with the water wheels here. We're gonna let the water run blue through the floodgates before we come out of it. And there's the water running blue at the floodgates. Up here is 0.85 and then do another little speed 4 while we do a mild floodage and then we're fine back to normal. So how do we crack along progress-wise? Do we make any here? No, because we're not making metal blocks, that's right. We need ye in, and I'm sure we'll get there soon. Surely. Oh, what happened here? Where's the lemonade? We do have lemons, don't we? I see it. Yes, we got lemons. We just need a grafter in the lemonade stand. Alright. How many builders there are? One less of ye, please. I need someone in here grafting away in the mapmaker.plantreader.lemonade stand.display name. This lemonade stand here is the beating heart of Cavey. Situated right outside the district centre there. Everybody loves it. Especially those that have recently had their bloody backs scratched. Well, I couldn't find the back scratcher, but we ended up in the cave next to the U-bend. I found the district centre, so we just need to go on left. Is there anyone getting the back scratched? No. Alright, speed 3 until we get someone getting the bloody back scratched. Oh, what up, wee kit? How's that back scratcher treating you, pal? He loves it. He's straight off it with a well-scratched back. 2 unconnected buildings. Oh, yeah, that's right. And how about this one? Oh, it's got pine resin in it and all. You know what? Delete E. Be deleted. But we at least have access to 30 pine resin. We can get cranking away with a little bit more log treating. But for now, I'd like you beavers to put a platform on there and some ladders on top. And for the sake of connectivity around Cavey, that's a maximum priority jobby. We want all of this connected up again. Now, why didn't we go for round 2 of planting pines round here? Oh, but not before we get another bad tide warning. No, man. Ah, le deja vu. Let's pause you. And simply slurp up all the water we can. How many back-to-back bad tides is that now? Is that 4? We must have done something to peeve off the beaver gods. Like, it's the only explanation. And foresters, I mean, foresters? Do I not have ye paused? Did I not pause you? Oh, ye can see, can't you? Well, I'll leave you unpaused because you've got the evergreen oak farm over here. But I do want to hurry up and get a bit more water on the gun. Now, the issue is, I need metal blocks for that. And to get metal blocks, I need 300 logs. I need so many logs to turn into gears, to turn into planks, to then treat and then put in here. Oh, it's gonna be neck level this, like. And our food situation isn't ideal, like, I will say that. We are going down. We do still have a full kohlrabi warehouse. However, if we zoom in, we've got an empty kohlrabi warehouse as well, with absolutely nout in it. Now, let's have a look. What could we be storing instead of nout? Corn rations. Double stack of corn rations, let's go. Because look at this, we've got a 3/4 full tank of bloody corns here. And by tank, I of course mean warehouse. So why didn't we unpause the food factory? Bring the priority down on the lemonade stand. And beavers get this singular ladder in with an absolute priority because you don't have any access to this bloody cassava warehouse. Now with our 2 water wheels here, we are still running at 100% efficiency. A little bit hour if that. And I haven't even changed any of these farmhouses. They're still on rip it up from the last bloody bad tide. And even though the beaver gods are pushing us to our absolute limits, I have faith in Davey's descendants here to power on through, fully succeed, no matter the length of this bad tide. I have such confidence that I'm committing right here, right now, during this temperate season, probably well into the bad tide by the time this rolls around to the speedy upbit, to a big owl top-down speedy upbit. Some proper classic gaming action, you know? Oh my, did you clock how many kohlrabis we lost there? That is unfortunate, like. How are you enjoying Cavey? I think we're well into the mid-game now, like, very slowly encroaching on the late game. But as I've said a few times, once we get this bad water reservoir in, it's going to be next level. It's going to change the map completely. We already have a temporary bad water picture at the side of the map solution going on for one of the sources. We got a combination effort for 2 more sources. We just need to get these tanks and pipes in. But to do that in any sort of reasonable fashion, we definitely need a bit of a drought. And I am getting keener and keener keener for update 7, like. It's just going to be this again, like next level again. And I do still have my concerns on small maps about it being somewhat trivializing. However, the early game's going to be just as challenging. And it's going to introduce heaps of new possibilities that you can do on these teeny weeny maps. If anything, I think it's going to be a bloody belter. I'm ready to do some update 7 madness. Once I finish my update 6 madness, of course. I had a warning, I hear it, and it's a drought! Woohoo! Yes! And we got 36 beavers, that's about what I'd expect, so I'm happy with that. Let's finally change these to bloody planting. I'm spewing! Quick speedy up it while I quickly vom everywhere. Alright, look, I know it's been a couple of days since they finished planting, but I'm still not quite over not unpausing this forester and losing how many days of growth? Like 5-6 days of growth? Mate, it's like halfway there by now. What's going on? Yep, okay. So you know how sometimes during speedy up bits, I like to get a bit clever and like do things. I got a bit clever and done something over here. It caused some flooding, so beavers, get that in now. When did I plant oaks there? When did I ever plant oaks there? And why aren't beavers filling this little hole here? Oh, thank you. As soon as the drought kicks in, yeah, no bother, beavers. Well done. And we've got a 28-day drought. I would have liked to fully top up our water supply. However, that's just not the way it worked, dude, is it? We've got all of our water pumpers paused. And what we do have, for the first time since I built this effing weir, we've got a cave full of nice clean water there. Look at that. Even round the corner here. It's nice and clean, as well as a fully topped up little reservoir back here. But I do believe I saw a little bit of now. Look at this bloody dirty contaminated water. This is another reason we need to get the pipe up and running, which we should have some hopes of doing now we've got all of this wood happening. And we can get a tapper shacking away very shortly, getting that pine resin on the crack. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this little small pile here and replace it with a handy dandy small warehouse, which stores pine resin. So old mate doesn't have to come very far, you know. He's not prioritised by haulers or anything. And look, our population's bloody perfect there. We've got 2 jobs left kicking the boot. And what are our 4 beavers doing? We've got... Oh! Yeah, right. Let's pause these jobs. And then let's unpause these jobs right here. What are you saying, no path? Did I not put a path on here? Yeah, I didn't look at that. No bloody paths on any of these. Neither wonder. Right, now we can store some cassavas. And we're doing right on bait, look. We've got more corn rations than we do corn. And if we can't do into this level here, peek through the little shrub, we've got even more corn doing here. But the big question is, while we've got the forester planting the oak and the lumberjack flag chopping an oak, how we're coming along here? Not bad. Treated planks. We must have had 110 pine resin knocking the boot in total. Because I have a feeling old mate here is sitting day and out. Haha, need pine resin. Ooh, would you look at this? We've got this in. You know what that potentially means? Deleting another engine from here and spending 100 Skynes points on a builder's hut. Beavers, get that in. We've got 68 bloody logs. We need more builders. You know what? I think it's time to turn on the second engine. So we're just going to fly through all of our logs then anyway, aren't we? Do we really need this? No. Let's not build this just yet, MiGly. Let's see how our log supply does first. And you know what, peeps? I think it's time for another speedy up bit here. But a speedy up bit where we're going to see some progress on this tank. At least 20 odd days worth of progress. Quick speedy up break while I open these sluices here. And let them fill up the river once again. Mid-drought. So yeah, now that's the point of that little weir there in the cave. Exactly this. And after one mild flood of the river here, we still have a little bit of water left in here. And I mean like a little bit of water left in here, but it's in here. Anyway, back to the speedy up bit. Now I switched a couple of water pumpers on while I was faffing about with that weir and sluice there. So we're probably going to end up with a dry river. And I think this is a fair dinkum little speedy up bit to end the episode on with all this progress we've made on this tank here. We even managed to tap those pines as well. We are inching closer towards having metal again. I'm sure there's a couple of you watching that knew that was an inevitability. Me running out of metal like that. Even though it was somewhat on my mind, it was always gotta happen. With that new tide sense comes the end of an episode. I'll see yous tomorrow, peeps, for some more big progress in Cavey. Bye bye.